I wanted to talk to you about, I was watching this on the flight, the JonBenét Ramsey documentary. I don't know if you've seen any of this or heard about it.
So I haven't seen it, but I think that's the girl that get kidnapped, right?
She was 6, lived in Colorado.
So my wife lived in Wyoming, and this was around her time.
Yep, 96 is when this happened. Yep.
This was around her time. My wife was born in 1980, like mid-80s. Mm-hmm. So she was around that 12, where kids are still scared.
Sure.
So she thought she was going to be kidnapped for like 3-4 years. Mm-hmm. So she was very scared at that time. Like literally, that was the biggest story in the country.
Yeah.
And if you're around that age, 10, 11, 12, you understand the magnitude of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my son at 7 wouldn't understand that, really. But when you were like 10, 11, I was talking to my in-laws and they were like, yeah, she would just sleep in our room. And she was like 12 because she was so scared of getting kidnapped. Mm-hmm. It's crazy.
Yeah. Documentary, do you know anything about the story?
Well, they don't know who did it.
Yeah.
Well, recap it for the people that don't know.
Yeah. So the morning after Christmas, this little girl is found dead in her basement. There's a ransom note. All of the signs point to the parents.
Yeah.
But the cops cannot pin it on them. Then, as I'm slowly but surely learning about true crime, cops are crooked. My God, are they crooked? Even though there's a little bit of me that goes, they might have had something to do with this.
Have you not listened to NWA in the 90s and 80s when they were talking Public Enemy?
They knew.
Talking about
the
cops. I knew. Man,
Yeah.
that's a very white thing you just said.
Now,
I didn't know cops were crooked.
No, here's the thing though. I know cops are crooked when it comes to big cities, LA, New Orleans, all that. I did not realize cops could be this crooked in Boulder, Colorado.
Of course, anytime you have power, you have crookedness, man.
Wild. It's insane. It was insane. So they bring in, there's a guy who is from New Orleans. His name is Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Like a modern day Sherlock Holmes.
Yep.
This guy is one of the best detectives to ever live. And they bring him in, and the cops bring him in expecting him to basically find evidence that points to the parents. And when he starts saying, I think you guys are wrong here. I don't think the parents did. I think there was an intruder, and here's why I think that. And the second he goes against the cops get rid of him.
Really?
Because they're like, we can't have somebody. So then they have a grand jury to try to indict the parents, and he asks to go on to testify in front of the grand jury, and the cops are like, no dice. No. Wouldn't let him testify. So I'm at the point now where I just finished the first 2 episodes. There's only 3 episodes. They're very intriguing. But the last episode, they get into when the grand jury doesn't indict the parents and where they're at now. Because I saw something on the news this morning about...
They still don't have the killer.
Still don't have a killer, but they have. But they did. I think they had like an arrest warrant for a former pageant photographer who lived in the area, who also may or may not. I'm not sure with all the details, but may or may not. Allegedly, may or may not have also tried to do this to another girl who went to the same dance studio as JonBenét, to the same dance studio, and tried to do it like 6 months afterwards. And the cops, when the mom found an intruder in her daughter's room, and when she went to the cops, she said maybe it could be the same person who killed JonBenét, and the cops are like, no, that's
so they wanted those parents to go down.
They're so trying hard to get
because let's be honest, high profile case, you're just trying to close it.
Yeah.
You're. I mean, it's the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're trying to close it so it'll just go away. Mm-hmm. So, hey, the parents did it, done, open and shut, boom, we got some evidence, maybe we don't. Look, this happens all the time, but it's kind of crazy how they still don't have a killer because the cops probably went in the wrong direction and they were just stuck on it.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I don't know. But it's, and I'm never one of those parents. I always hate when people go, that could have been my daughter. That could have been. Nope, it wasn't. So, and it's not going to be. The chances of something like this happening are incredibly slim.
Yeah, man. I don't like my wife is a pageant girl. She came up in pageants. I don't think I would let my daughter do pageants. It's just weird to me.
Yeah.
Not when you're older, but like kids that get all the makeup and stuff. It's just weird to me. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably get in trouble for saying that on this podcast. But to me, it's weird to dress up a 4, 5, 6-year-old in pageant outfits.
Yeah. They look like little tiny child hookers. All the makeup.
Okay.
And, yeah. I mean,
I won't say that.
Yeah,
but okay.
but it really is like, and the documentary talks a lot about sexualizing these children.
Dude,
It's
just think
insane.
if you're a pedo.
Oh,
A
yeah.
chimo?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, oh my God, a kid that's dressed up like a woman?
Yeah.
Like an adult woman?
Yeah. Oh, the Nickelodeon stuff when that documentary
Bro,
came out.
I didn't see it. But man, after this Diddy stuff, I'm like, I was talking to my trainer the other day. I was like, Zoe, what's happening with all these people, man? Like, when do you get to a point when you're like, I got everything in the world, let me start trafficking people? Like, when does that come into play?
Yeah.
It's like, when does, hey, you know what? Normal life is so boring, even though I can get anything I want. I'm gonna have these sex parties, traffic people, have people fly in, and then frame them if they ever say anything. That's fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Nothing else to do, man. Yeah. That's why I was blown away by Tiger Woods. It's like you first off, your wife is a smoke show.
Okay, but see, that's more acceptable than trafficking
people,
children.
Yeah, it still
right?
goes along the same lines
No,
of
no,
I can
Tiger
get
Woods, I totally
want.
get. I would never be that, but Tiger Woods, I totally get. His wife is
Really?
beautiful, right?
Yeah.
This dude's the biggest golfer at that time. He's a celebrity. Celebrities hook up with people.
Yeah.
He's not like, they're all adults. He's not trafficking in it. He's just cheating a lot.
Yeah.
I can understand that more than being Diddy. That can sleep with anybody he wants. That can have anything he wants. And be like, yo, I want to do this. Or Epstein, or whoever. I'm not comparing them, but I don't know enough about it. But I tell people all the time, Hollywood makes the beast. I've seen it. I'm a lower level Hollywood person. I've been in TV shows. I've been on sets. If I'm on set right now, and I go, I'm kind of thirsty, just to myself, I'm kind of thirsty, you would have 3 people run out to give you water. So that builds this, oh, okay, that's weird, but all right. And then you just start to accept it. I'm hungry. Oh, what do you want? We'll go get it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, oh man, I gotta go get my car. Oh, we'll do it. So when you're responsible for so many other people's jobs, you become very important. Not because they like you, but because they need their jobs. So that elevates you to a level where they'll do things for you, you know? And then it creates this fake facade that's how the world really is. That's why like celebrities can't understand. Like if you asked in real life Oprah, how much is this at a store? She would not know.
No, of course not. No.
But what I do, it creates the monster. Because I was at E and that was happening. Just think if you're Johnny Depp on a movie scene and it's Pirates of the Caribbean where you have thousands of people's jobs on the line.
Sure.
You have to show up.
Yeah.
So if you said, I want to fly to Paris right after today, they would make it happen. Because it's a big franchise. You can have whatever you want. So you lose the sense of reality.
Yeah.
And it becomes a Hollywood fake reality because you think, oh no, this is how it is.
Yeah. We do that with children a lot. We give them far too much. My daughter had a sleepover one time, and it was just her and a friend. It was like 7 o'clock, and at some point, I remember walking into the living room with 2 bowls of ice cream for these 2 little princesses who are sitting under blankets watching television. Meanwhile, it's still like 7 o'clock. It's the middle of the summer. It's beautiful outside, and I went, no. You know what? No ice cream until you 2 go outside and get dirty. Go run around, go cause some trouble, break a window, do something other than just sit here and get pampered because you turn these tiny little, possibly good humans into absolute monsters later in life when you do that stuff.
Yeah, but see, I think the difference is, and you're right, but that's our choice.
Sure.
And I think we're dealing with a lot of trauma from our parents. So that pendulum has gone from our parents didn't care, they abused us to a certain level, which was very normal at the time. It's kind of like a comic saying a racial slur in the 80s. That's terrible today. It was very accepted then. Everybody said it, so don't get mad at him because he was just speaking how people speak.
Yeah, try to watch Eddie Murphy Raw nowadays.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It doesn't hold up. Hey, what's up? It's Michael Yo. So this weekend, Friday and Saturday, the 6th and 7th, we're going to be at the Cincinnati Funny Bone. Me and Rudy, we would love to see you there. Tickets, michaelyo.com/tour. We're doing it. The Do I Lie Tour, we got 3 more dates. Cincinnati, then we're in St. Louis, and then we are in Columbus, Ohio. So Ohio, we'll see you twice in the next 3 weeks. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. We appreciate you. Hey, what's going on? It's Michael Yo. I am so excited. Today's Yo Show is brought to you by Bandit Wallet. Rudy, tell me all about it, man.
Dude, Bandit Wallet, the best.
Love it.
Absolutely. First off, let's get to all the legalities of it. Minimalist design, obviously we're both about that. Try to get as much crap out of your life as you possibly can. It's under 0.3 inches thin. It gets rid of that big front pocket bulge. Well, for some of us, anyways. RFID blocking. So digital thieves, they cannot steal your card info. That's huge. That's huge.
I tell you, man, everybody wants to steal info. With this, they can't steal it, which is
great.
awesome.
Mm-hmm. And then it's also trackable, which is great. So they have an optional tracker card, which you can put inside of the wallet. You're always going to know where it is because it works with Apple, Find My, and Android platforms.
Great.
That's amazing. And plus, right now, if you are a viewer of the Yo Show, use the promo code YOSHOW40. You get 40% off.
Wait, are these your cards?
Those are my cards.
I just
hit that button.
Look at that
and they
button.
pop right out.
Look at that.
Hit the button, they pop right out.
I love this.
That's amazing. I love it because I've always been a wallet carrier, and I've noticed that regardless of how small or big my wallet is, I always fill it up to max capacity.
Okay.
This does not allow for that.
Can I tell you something that this is an old thing? I went to my chiropractor, and they go, the older you get, you can't sit on your wallet. It messes up your back.
Absolutely.
And that's why I switched to this right here, Bandit Wallet.
Yeah, it's great.
Love it.
Go to bndtla.com. That's bndtla.com, banditla.com. I travel with at least one of these because I'm a card member of every airline. And every
you are.
We stay at.
Both of us.
All of us,
And also, we have a Yo Show code, right?
Absolutely, YoShow40. You get 40% off the purchase.
Yo Show 40%. We'll put it on the screen right here. Yo Show 40, and just do it. Just go check it out. It means a lot to us. It's our first sponsor, so it means a lot. Go do it later. But our parents did. Everybody did it. Parents would throw bars of soap down your throat. That was what they did. They would talk to other parents about it. Today, that's unacceptable. So that bar was there. Then the pendulum swung all the way over here because now we're the parents. We're like, yo, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to even hit my kids.
Yeah.
And guess what? Our kids will probably wind up in the middle. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, all right, well, what is my kid going to complain about? Like how comics, I said my dad hit me, my mom put soap in my son is going to be like, can you believe my dad yelled at me? Like that's their argument. My dad yelled at me and he had to work.
Yeah. He was gone for 6 hours a day in his home studio making podcasts.
Dude, that's going to be his thing, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But that will be like that generation comics 20 years from now are going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
Like our parents yell, and that'll be like people might be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Yeah.
Or sometimes it gets so ridiculous, like in the politics, it swings all the way back. Well, maybe my son will be beating the hell out of his kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they talk about how this generation right now, like my daughter's, like our kids' generation, they are going to be the tool belt generation. They are going to be the next set of people because we had a bunch of guys and gals who were like steel workers and miners, and now we got a bunch of people that are sitting indoors who are coding computers and doing all that stuff, and then their kids are going to be the ones that are going, oh, you can make 6 figures a year by learning how to, be a carpenter, or you can put in a plumbing maid, or you can do all that stuff. That's going to be the next generation of kids that are.
You think so? But do you think there'll be enough jobs for that, though?
Absolutely. There's so many people. I mean, look at how much the city of Omaha, Nebraska, has expanded so much that everybody who was in the oil industry, like in the farming and corn industry, that was in Omaha. It got so big because there's so many people, and Omaha is not building up. If you go, they have a small little downtown area, but it's expanding. And the rich people got tired of driving all the way from way in the middle of nowhere into downtown and dealing with traffic. So they just packed up, and now they're moving to these small little boutique towns like Norfolk, Nebraska, where they're close, but they're not. They didn't have to leave the state. And cities are just expanding because there's so many people now. I mean, everybody we know, you have 2 kids. I decided to, I only made one, and I had my reasons for it because after my daughter was born, she got sick, and I'm like, I never want to do this again. So, but we know people with 3, 4 kids, and then their kids go out and make 3, 4 kids, and then it just keeps building. We're at what, 8 billion people?
But what I'm saying is, I guess the plumbing jobs, the carpenter jobs, the building, those will all be in place.
Sure.
But the inside jobs that people focus on, those could be disappearing. So maybe you're saying that's why people are going to get pushed out?
And also because we're automating more things. Our technology has developed so much, it's able to sustain itself. So we don't need as many people in those realms. But and what they're also finding now is as they're building out and they're building new construction, all the old construction has to be modified. So now they have to go back and they have to tear down buildings and they have to remodel things to be able to keep them sustainable for people. And a lot of times they're adding additions or they're building floors up on buildings now so you can add more people to them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's insane. Like the amount of jobs that are being created right now. I just read an article with Mike Rowe, who I love. I love that guy. And
for the people that don't know, who's Mike Rowe?
Mike Rowe, he was the guy from Dirty Jobs.
Oh,
he was, yeah. And he's just, I love that guy's outlook on life. And he has a scholarship that is in place for kids that are like, hey man, if you want to go to tech school, you want to learn how to, be a bricklayer or anything like that, we can make that happen for you.
But you're right. Maybe that is, you know what? I kind of hope that's coming back because I don't know how to do any of that. Like literally, I read a book when I was young and it stuck with me. It's like successful people focus on what they're good at and hire people for the rest.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a bad attitude. But I knew I wasn't good at like manuals. Like I'm not good at building. I'm not good at this. So I just really poured all my energy into something else where my dad is good at both. He was PhD, but he could make a TV. He could fix your car.
Yeah.
Me, I could buy a car. I could buy a TV, but I can entertain. And my dad's, he can entertain. He's funny on the podcast, but my job is to entertain. So I'll focus in on that. But I think, I'm just not that guy. But I don't think my son's gonna be that guy. I think my daughter, she's like kind of tough. So I don't know. But I just think but who are they gonna learn it from though? Because parents, the ones that are inside, like you're saying, usually you get those from your parents.
Yeah.
So who are they gonna get it? They're gonna purposely go out to school to learn it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's how they rebel against their parents. They're like, my dad did podcasts, so I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna learn how to install copper piping. Like that, I'm gonna get back at my old man for that. Yeah,
you're so right. Where it's kind of like, I even heard something. This was years ago that kids, like my son, when he's 17, he probably won't even want a phone. Just like kids today don't want a car.
Yeah,
our kids don't want a phone. I don't believe that because I think it's a phone now is a part of a person.
Sure, it's an extension of you.
Just like a car is a part of a person. You may not have your own car, but you have Uber, which is a car. So it's still part of you.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the Uber extension of a phone. Maybe somebody else carries it for you. I don't know, but I do know. I know several celebrity friends that don't carry a phone. They have somebody else carry a phone.
Yeah.
Because then they're not bothered.
Dude.
They forget about it. And that's dope.